Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I very welcome my friends and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching, and welcome to this very, very special Doctor Who video reacting from 2 or 3 tweets from Emily Wood, the alleged orchestrator of Doctor Who Lockdown. If you're feeling charitable, please smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. So let's read out the tweets from not Emily Wood. I always say Emily Wood. It's Emily Cook at Emily Rosina, right? So for all intents and purposes, Emily come up with Doctor Who Lockdown and the Doctor Who tweet-alongs. These Doctor Who tweet-alongs have seen Stephen Moffat return to Twitter, a platform he was hounded out from. Despicable that the guy was hounded out. We must say that, right? Russell T Davies had never been on Twitter before. He's got an Instagram. He came onto Twitter. He's done his bit. They've done little short stories. They've given us their pearls of wisdom during production and little, stories and offshoots. Look, it's been absolutely fantastic. So let's read. You know what? Before I read Emily's tweets, we've all got that cynical voice in our heads, no matter how positive we are. We all have that cynical voice, don't we? And we try and ignore it. And in terms of Emily Cook, I've tried to silence that cynical voice, but I've made videos about her before, very constructive ones, because I was suspicious. I was suspicious what was going on, but I didn't want to listen to that voice. So let's read out her tweets. Oh, Doctor Who fandom. Laughing emoji. Generally, everything in life is far more enjoyable if we don't complain about the things we don't like. I'm sure this applies to Doctor Who too. Also, technical linguistic point here, but fan actually means having an affection for something. Wow. Oh no, it's a little emoji with 2 little red cheeks, right? So she's already started, right? You see, what happens sometimes, Emily, when we reach the top of the mountain, we think we've reached the top, and we think we can treat people in a certain way. Or maybe as we were walking on top of that mountain, we had a plan, we had an agenda. And it looks like, Emily, you always had an agenda, but I don't think you're working alone. Now, are you? Note, I'm not saying we have to like everything, but there's a huge difference between rudely complaining and having a constructive conversation. Vile comments directed at individuals are not okay, especially when the subject in question is just a TV show, albeit one we love. Just a TV show, right? Well, I must give you credit, Emily, for at least not saying it's just a kids' TV show, which is what people from your side of the bush normally do. And by her side of the bush, you know where I'm coming from. But she's not done yet. She's not done. She's got one more thing to say. Also, just to clarify, this tweet is certainly not a dig at this group. Really, Emily? Really? It looks like a lovely, positive group of fans to be a part of. I'm just saying, it's crazy we have to distinguish between fans who like what they are a fan of and fans who don't like what they're a fan of. Laughing emoji as well. Wow. Rattled or what? Rattled or what? So I've put this theory to you guys and girls before, that I believe the BBC, Doctor Who, not the BBC, the Doctor Who Lockdown initiative was a BBC initiative. But what could they do? Who could they put as the face of it? Chris Chibnall? Certainly not. Jodie Whittaker? Certainly not. The people playing the companions? Certainly not. Who could they put innocently for us not to understand the objective and the agenda here, which is disenfranchise people from the Not My Doctor hashtag, RIP Doctor Who hashtag, which, by the way, these are people with valid opinions who speak a lot of truths that have exposed the BBC and Chris Chibnall. Let's not forget that. Now, I'm going to give you my all-round opinions about Doctor Who. You can just watch my videos already. I've reviewed every episode of the past 2 years. So it's not like my opinions are not out there. So, as I said, my theory is that they put Emily as the face of BBC Lockdown to have kind of Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat, and other writers from superior Doctor Who from 2005, Rose, Dalek we're getting today. Looking forward to that tweet along. I love the tweet alongs. It's a great idea. What's really funny about this whole thing is that we are tweeting along to pre-Chibnall and Whittaker Doctor Who. It's not like they're suggesting we tweet along with those episodes. Of course they're not. So Emily here is basically saying, just because you don't like something, it doesn't mean you have to tell everyone. Of course you don't want us to tell everyone we don't like it. You don't want us to expose it. I understand, Emily. You work for Doctor Who magazine. If Doctor Who's cancelled, your job could be cancelled. But it goes beyond that. As I say, I believe that Emily was put in place by the BBC to create some positivity for Doctor Who. Because after The Timeless Children, an episode I quite liked, by the way, and I thought the Timeless Child arc has got a lot of potential. And I've already said I won't judge it totally until I've seen the whole thing. I think could be some interesting things to come from it. I don't know. But I also understand where, R.I.P. Doctor Who and Not My Doctor lot are coming from. Because it does say that there is other versions of this character before Hartnell. And I understand why people are upset about that. And the kind of myth that a self-pronounced Doctor Who fan would do this. So I also understand that. So the whole idea was, after The Timeless Children, Doctor Who was dead. It was a rubbish tip of toxicity. Fans coming from that end, people like me just standing in the middle and thinking, bloody hell. Because I've already said for years, since Chibnall's come in, Doctor Who, under him, is bland, vanilla and boring. So I'm not going to hide from that. That's the honest truth. So they put Emily in place to bring in people to talk about these episodes while we tweet along. It's brought positivity and love for Doctor Who again. But the truth is, Doctor Who's the revival of Doctor Who season 1 to seasons 1 to 10. We loved those seasons mostly. We had gripes with them, of course, right? Constructive gripes, but mainly there was a love for that era of the revival of Doctor Who. And the real toxicity has come in from the moment Jodie Whittaker was announced. Now, I want to be clear here. This is not about casting a female. It is not. It wasn't us, Emily. It wasn't us, Emily, who cast an actor to play the Doctor because she had worked with Chris Chibnall before, because she was Chris Chibnall's friend. But let me be clear again, it doesn't matter who Chris Chibnall cast in this role. What female actor? It could have been the best ever. It could have been an A-lister, right? It could have been Jennifer Lawrence. It doesn't matter. Because his Doctor Who, the bland, vanilla and boring Doctor Who, was never going to work for the masses. Right, so let's just say I've spoken about Phoebe Waller-Bridge before. Imagine Phoebe Waller-Bridge was cast as the Doctor under Chibnall. It would never have worked because she wouldn't have been able to do her thing, right? Phoebe Waller-Bridge would be a great Doctor. We all know that, right? It's not about the gender of the Doctor. Not for me. I know there's those people that are not happy there's a female Doctor. I don't agree with those people, but I will fight for their right to talk and have their opinion. Emily doesn't want that. No. Emily, so the point that she makes is being a fan of something that you don't like. The point is, Emily, right? If I bought a pack of fruit pastels and all the sugar had been taken off of them, I would have the right to complain. Complaining is one of the most important things we have. Because let me tell you this, if we didn't complain about season 11, Emily, then we wouldn't have got season 12. We wouldn't have had the Master back, right? We wouldn't have had the Judoon back, right? And I don't know, but it was obviously Chibnall's plan to always have a Timeless Child arc, right? Because there was a hint of it last year in the Ghost Monument. So we know that. Without the arc in season 12, you've got another bland vanilla season. It's bad enough that the Doctor and her companions are bland, vanilla and boring with no characterizations. That's on Chris Chibnall, right? But what you're saying, Emily, and literally you're trying to mock people with opinions. It's what it does is it just reveals who Emily is. That's the sad thing about it. It reveals that she is working for the BBC. She is doing it. She keeps on telling us how she's not getting paid for this. Well, as your job, as someone, I don't know, are you the editor, the co-editor of the Doctor Who magazine? This hasn't done Doctor Who magazine's bottom line any harm, has it? These tweet-alongs. I want to thank you, Emily. You've done a brilliant thing. Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat, the tweet-alongs. I'm enjoying the tweet-alongs. They're great. But when you do this, you put your flag on a mast. When you wave the red rag, the ball will charge. So what is the agenda here? To wait until the tweet-alongs are so popular, so then they can start digging at the fandom menace, hashtag not my doctor, hashtag RIP Doctor Who. Is this the agenda? Let me ask you a question. No, I'll just say this about me. When I was watching TV and movies and enjoying myself watching this stuff as a kid, watching Superman the movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Back to the Future, do you think I ever sat there one day and thought, one day, Mick, there's going to be some political things that happen, like Donald Trump as president or Brexit? And what's going to happen is the entertainment industry will be embroiled in a culture war. Never in my life would I have thought that our industry that's given us so much would sink so low. And to purposely create stories and dialogue in their TV shows and movies that digs against men, that calls men bad, that puts us down. Toxic masculinity. Things like that. How is that helping anyone? Attacking an entire gender. Paul Cornell's little bit of fan fiction when he literally says that all the doctors before Jodie's doctor had a sickness inside. Who gains an advantage? The BBC don't want to see Doctor Who die. Why should they? This show should be making millions upon millions a year. And it was. Russell T Davies created an Avengers type MCU Marvel Studios type of franchise, and it worked. Stephen Moffat continued it, and it was great. There were issues. Moffat's arrogance sometimes got in the way, and it got him in trouble with the fans. We can't escape from that. He's a bit more humble now, and he realised some of the things he did maybe weren't the best for Doctor Who. He was really... The thing is with Stephen Moffat, it was all about his Doctor Who legacy. He's a massive fan of Doctor Who, and it was a massive opportunity for him. But he's a great writer, and ultimately, most of the time, he put Doctor Who first, as Russell T Davies did. As I say, I didn't ask the BBC to put Chris Chibnall in charge. I didn't ask Chris Chibnall to employ his friend as the Doctor. You wanted to employ a female Doctor, Chris? You have basically the choice of the best female actors out there. I've already said this a billion times and you didn't choose them. But as I've already said in this video, it doesn't matter who he chose. The show would have taken the same bland and watered down direction. Just imagine this, a female Doctor in an epic Doctor Who series. Imagine that, Chris. Wouldn't that have made the female representation that you were going for much more powerful? No, you cast your female friend as the Doctor and you water the character and her companions and the show down. You've actually done your aim harm. So finally, the final defeat from the BBC is, out of desperation after the Timeless Children, they didn't know what direction to go. Did they A, sack the showrunner that's driven the ratings down? No. We have to fail upwards in the entertainment industry, don't we? We can't admit defeat. We can't give fan entitlement a leg up, can we? So instead of that, you came up with this Doctor Who lockdown idea. And it's a good idea. And it's a smart idea. It's also a nefarious idea. And ultimately, I knew what was going on here. I knew what type of person Emily was. I knew what she was going to do. I've already seen her say, someone kind of criticised Chibnall's era, and she goes, yeah, but you know, it is popular with children, smiling emoji. Emily, please give me the evidence that this era of Doctor Who is popular with children. Russell T Davies' era was. Not so much with Stephen Moffat, but Russell definitely got all types of age groups and demographics to enjoy Doctor Who. But it's not just Doctor Who that's in this mess because of this culture war and because the entertainment industry are obsessed with going down this extreme level by getting their Doc Martens on and making sure that everybody sees the footprints of their political ideology. And then, to cap it all off last week, we're all enjoying these lockdown, BBC Doctor Who lockdown, right? And then Paul Cornell blocks half the fandom, including me. And now Emily does this. Did she do it to trick us into being toxic towards her? So then she can play the victim and cry and say that she's being bullied by a toxic fandom? Wow. As I say, all this proves is how nervous the BBC are. There's never been an era or an atmosphere where fandoms are so powerful and they can bring these people to their knees from their own decisions. The Fandom Menace has done this. I'm not part of the Fandom Menace. There's some things they do and say that I agree with. I don't agree with their politics, no. But the truth is, they are powerful and they are causing this type of thing. This is what they've caused. Every letter, every word, every syllable that Emily wrote here, I could feel the sweat strands of fear dripping down from them. They're scared. Why do you think they're able to get Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat to support this, to support Doctor Who Lockdown? Because everyone is trying to fight for their very lives. Doctor Who is on its knees. Doctor Who is on its knees, not because of the fans, not because of the people complaining, but because of the decisions that have been taken in the creative direction of this show. Even Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who era could have been great. If only her showrunner could have given us something else, more, to be developed. She could have been a great Doctor. It's not that difficult. I still don't think I would have cast her. I think there's other females out there, many, hundreds of talented females who were born to play the Doctor, a female Doctor, the first female Doctor. But no, they've gone down this bland and vanilla route, and now it's costing them. And the best thing that BBC can do is this. Before I switch this video off, I'm going to reread what she said so you can understand the fear they have. They can't believe that a bunch of fans that have brought them down. And it's simple as that. The consumer is king. Whether you're going to the co-op, whether you're watching a TV show or a movie, we have the power to bring TV shows and movie franchises down. Because until they stop and understand that this direction they're going in will never work, they will lose. But the idea is flawed already for Doctor Who Lockdown. They're literally creating tweet-alongs for superior Doctor Who. The people that she says are complaining are the ones that are saying the episodes that they're actually representing are superior to Chibnall. And all she's doing and the BBC are doing is proving this. Basically, in footballing terms, it's an own goal from the BBC. All this is going to do is remind us how very bland current Doctor Who is and how superior Doctor Who from 2005 and beyond is. It's as simple as that. So let's reread what she wrote before I go. Oh, Doctor Who fandom. Generally, everything in life is far more enjoyable if we don't complain about the things we don't like. Imagine if you never complained about the things you don't like. Everything would just be in there. It would be a vacuum. We'd all be bloody the Incredible Hulk or serial killers, right? But this is what you get from these positive people. Never be negative. Life's about balance, Emily. Always remember that. You must have a lot of fury inside you if you're never negative, I'll tell you that. If we don't complain about things we don't like. I'm sure this applies to Doctor Who too. Also, technical linguistic point here, but fan actually means having an affection for something. Yes, Emily, we have affection for Doctor Who, but it doesn't mean that we're just going to sit there silently while you and the BBC destroy it because of your political ideology. Sorry, Emily, you lose. Your point is a moot point. You're telling people that they can't complain about Doctor Who. You're telling us no matter how bad it gets, we've got to sit in silence so you and the BBC can keep on making money and keep your jobs. No, Emily, in a democracy, that's not how life works. Note, I'm not saying we have to like everything, but there's a huge difference between rudely complaining and having a constructive conversation. Vile comments directed at individuals are not okay, especially when the subject in question is just a TV show, a bait, one we love. Also, just to clarify, this tweet is certainly not a dig at this group. I love that bit. It looks like a lovely positive group of fans to be a part of. I'm just saying, it's crazy we have to distinguish between fans who like what they're a fan of and fans who don't like what they're a fan of. Laughing emoji. And that's what she had to say. Emily, you have done a wonderful thing. You've made us all very, very happy. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you making yourself a target? I don't want you to be bullied. I want you to be attacked. It's not worth it, Emily. It's not worth it, sweetheart. It really isn't. You're doing a good thing. All you have to do is be quiet. But is this why you did it? So you can make your mute point because you lost and the BBC lost? Really? Really? Is it worth it, Emily? Do you want rid of us men that badly, right? Was the guy who commented on those posts, how many Doctor Who fans does it take to light a bulb or change a bulb or whatever he said? I just told him I'll get my girlfriend to change the bulb. It's a bit dangerous for a man to do something so difficult, right? But there you go, everyone. We are in a culture war, whether we like it or not. People like me who just love storytelling, TV shows and movies are being sucked into this because of people like this, with agendas like this. What a shame. Again, like last week, I've got a sour taste in my mouth, and it's not just because I've had a few chewies in my mouth, right? I should be looking forward to this tweet along, like every single fan. But again, she's put a bad taste in my mouth and made me quite upset because there was no need for this. No one is attacking people who like current Doctor Who. I certainly am not. If you genuinely like it, great. But if you say it's all right, that means you don't like it, isn't it? Come on, let's be honest. It's okay. It's all right. In other words, I don't like it, but I don't want to say I don't like it. Right? If you like it, you like it. Good for you. I have issues with it. I have issues with bland and vanilla and boring storytelling that's obsessed with political ideology. But this is where the entertainment industry is now. This is where we are. They can do better. We can do better. We all can be better. But not with tweets like this. Tweets like this have a point. They're not just there to be posted and read and moved on. These tweets are an act of war. It's as simple as that. And the aim is to actually make a point and try and kind of knock the fandom menace off its perch, because they are doing a lot of damage to the BBC, to Lucasfilm, and when you challenge power, power will fight back. But if Emily Cook is the biggest weapon they've got, I'm sorry, BBC, you've already lost. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe. I'll be back in the future in my TARDIS with more Doctor Who videos. See you again soon.